Hello my lovely friends, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I thought it would be fun to talk about, well, I guess I thought it would be fun to talk about Lucy. Oh, don't put your bum in the camera. There we go. No, keep it going. Not the introduction that I was planning, but here we are. In today's video, oh yes, sweetheart, would you like the video to be about Lucy? Oh no, she wants to get on my lap. This cat, honest to goodness, I can't sit down. Anyways, every time I sit down, she's like, oh, you're sitting? I want to be on your lap. Which, don't get me wrong, is absolutely amazing. And I love it because our last two cats were not lap cats at all. But sometimes I'm still a little bit like, oh, this is what we're doing now. Anyways, back to the reason why we're here. I thought it would be fun today to do a video talking about looking for symbolism and pictures and images in just regular magazines. In the last video that I did, I talked a lot about using symbols and their meanings and how they can really help express difficult emotions, things that you're feeling that you don't necessarily know how to write out, or it's just a really nice way of adding something extra and extra personal to your journal, because symbols and images can mean anything. I mean, there's a wide sort of universal acceptance that butterflies mean transformation, and turtles mean slow and steady, and owls are wise, and those sorts of things. But what I really like about this idea is that you can take images and they can mean anything to you. It can evoke a memory, and it's very personal. And I really like that for our junk journals, in the sense that it's just a really nice and fun way to make them really our own journal, maybe even keeping some secrets. Right? And so it occurred to me after I made the video that although I felt it was helpful and interesting, if I do say so myself, you know, not everybody has a binder full of images, and not everybody has access to being able to save images, cat hair, the way that I do. So I had to go over to the drugstore the other day to mail some stuff, and I thought I was going to pick up some magazines, and let's go through them, and let's talk about the different images that we see in here, and how it might be applicable to something that you can use in your journals to mark a period of time, feelings, emotions. I know I keep saying that word, emotion. Just a way of documenting something that's going on. Look at that beautiful face. I know, you're so pretty. And so I chose 3 different magazines for basically 3 different reasons. First, I have one of these ladies' magazines. And as a rule, I don't really buy magazines anymore. I have to say, when I was at the drugstore, I was like, man, this selection is not great, and this is probably why it's been a long time since I've bought magazines. But everybody has one of these kicking around, whether it's, you know, at home, or an auntie's, or your granny's, or your nana's, or something. These are really common, and you can find them just about anywhere, and they're super duper inexpensive. The other thing is, at our libraries, we have a box where it's, you can drop off your old magazines and then pick something out for free, right? And so I find that these magazines, this kind of thing is in there a lot. So I thought it might be kind of interesting to go through it and just see what's in it, and just see if we can use something that's really mundane to actually convey something that's really quite meaningful. And then I got this Canadian Living magazine, and normally I would never buy Canadian Living magazine because it's not that exciting. But I gotta say, I was hungry when I went to the drugstore, and I was like, oh, look at these. So I flipped through it quickly, and there was a few things in here that I thought we could use. So the other last magazine I got was Magnolia. And I wanted to pick up a magazine to share and flip through with you that was a little bit of a specialty magazine, but, you know, the cooking ones obviously are all about food. The sewing ones were all about sewing. I wanted to find something that would have a wide variety of images. And this was the best sort of speciality, non-lady, non-fashion, non-mainstream magazine that they had there. I think we'll find some things. So I have not gone through these really at all. I flipped through them at the store just to see if there was something in it that really jumped out at me. And there was. So I think this will be fun because for those of you that aren't saving images and printing off images like I am, I think that this will be a great way to get you started and to build up a bit of a repertoire, if you will, a collection of images that you can go back to when you're journaling. And then I thought maybe what I would do after I get to Value Village at some point, maybe I'll pick up a couple coffee table books, and then we could go through those as well. So, okay, I guess it's time. I'm going to turn the camera around and let's see what we can find. Right? You approve? Is that okay? Okay. Alrighty, Roo. Here we are. Let's start with the first for women. Yeah, I haven't bought one of these in a dog's age. I used to love to buy gossip magazines and these sorts of magazines when we would go to the beach. I haven't been to the beach in a really long time, I gotta say. Okay, is this centered? Yes. Okay, so let's have a look-see. What have we got? Sunflowers. So right away, I'm like, ooh, I would cut this out, and this would be great for friendships, connections, yeah, sunny days, those sorts of things. We've got two little girls here, which would be very sweet if you were doing something with inner child or days gone by, something that you wanted to remember from the past, a really sweet moment, even though, of course, that's not you. Sparkling circlet. Let's see here. Sitting on the patio at sunset is something I look forward to in the summer season, says Patty. So again, flowers, connection, friendship, community even, you know, because there's all kinds of different flowers put together. Here we have stripes. I don't know, nothing is, oh wait, no, I missed it, hang on. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Okay. So we've got running shoes, which would be obviously from any kind of movement, positive movement. So if you wanted to cut out some running shoes and be like moving forward, empowerment even, you know, like I'm going to put on my walking shoes and I'm just moving forward through this situation, or I'm going to, you know, get my way through some of these difficult feelings or something like that. So running shoes could be really great for that. Again, if this was me, I would be sort of tempted to cut like this, and then just, this would be great for, again, moving forward, taking that leap and going into some sort of situation, walking into the unknown, maybe. Same with this. Any of this sort of from the waist down, where you can just see their feet, and you could journal, or just, you know, again, if it's something where you're not wanting to write out a lot of words, you could just cut this out and be like, I'm moving forward. Today, that's all I got. I'm moving forward. Okay, and the thing is, some of these things will feel a little bit cliche, but we have cliches for a reason. And I'm fully on board with the cliche in the sense that Cliches remind us that many, many, many people before us walked the path that we are currently walking. And the cliche comes from the wisdom that they have passed down from generations to generations about, in particular, I would say, difficult situations. So, having said that, cliches are, in my opinion, are good, even though they can be a little bit groan-worthy. Because you're like, oh, I've heard that 1,000 times. It's like, it's not the destination, it's the journey, which can all make us a little bit crazy, but, you know, how can you argue with it, right? So I would be tempted to simplify this photo and, you know, I would concentrate on the strength of her bicep and the tenacity of strength and the ability to move forward despite having trepidation or fear and that kind of thing, right? For me, I would not be using especially famous people's faces just because I would find that to be a distraction. I would just want to concentrate on the message of the body language itself. Even though I think Jennifer Coolidge is pretty awesome. Again, I wouldn't be using, no offense to Jennifer or to Terry, but I wouldn't be using their faces or any of these gals. Now, what have we got here? So that's some bronzer. These magazines are going to be a little bit of a challenge as far as the symbolism. So any of these would be good about nourishment, obviously. This could also be about your cup being full, closer to being full, and what that would mean to you, right? Diamonds would be about abundance and riches of gifts, and I don't mean like presents, like, you know, somebody giving you a diamond ring, although that could be, but I would use this diamond as a way to remind myself that there are lots of gifts that we receive every day and that you're grateful for these gifts. So friendship, healthy food, a warm, comfy bed, comfortable shoes, you know, money in the bank, all of those sorts of things. This would totally be for me if I was just wanting to glue something in. You know, it'd be like, yep, I am filled with riches because I have a lot of things every day to be really, really grateful for. Chocolate, obviously the sweetness of life. Aha, speaking of sweet. So we've got strawberries about, again, this could be about abundance, things growing and coming to fruition for you, planting seeds and having it grow and seeing the results of having planted those seeds. Any of these would be good for that, for sure. Especially with something like this where you can see the seeds in it. Ooh, I think that would be really great for when you're starting something new. You know, you're like, okay, I've got these seeds. I want to try and create whatever it is you want to create, whether it's a new job, friendships, different kinds of relationships, a better sense of self-worth, a better sense of your value within society at large. Whatever it is that you want to plant the seeds in order to make happen, this would work great. But as we know, all these are full of seeds. So all of this works good. Ice cream, again, the sweetness of life. Granola. Again, these are healthy things, right? I mean, again, this is going to be very personal. You might look at fennel seeds and have a completely different association with them. So just go with whatever works for you. Your toothbrush, you know, this is about with the fresh water. So it could be, again, fresh starts, clean starts. If you're starting over something in life and you're like, I am just making a fresh start, boop, that works perfectly. Again, we've got feet. Here, again, you know, we've got this beach. So this is water, would be about going with the flow. keeping in mind that maybe you want to be a little bit more fluid in your thought process, in your actions, in your response. I mean, water's such a great way of conveying this. I always say this, right? Yeah. The sand here can be about being grounded. And even though she's got only her tippy toes on the ground, you know, she's obviously full of joy. She's full of enthusiasm. She's reaching up towards the sky. She's got all kinds of energy here that she literally is just bursting out of her. But she still has one foot on the ground. So there might be something going on with you where you're feeling like, I've got a lot of ideas and I'm really ready to take this forward momentum, but keep one toe on the ground. Don't get so caught up in the air that you've forgotten about, you know, being present in your body, being present within your the things that you tell yourself, right? It's always good to keep one foot on the ground to stay grounded. So this is a really, really great example of that kind of messaging that you might want to put in the journal for yourself. Here we have some weights. So this could be good or bad. This could be about feeling empowered and strong and resilient. It could also be a reminder to let go of the things that weigh you down. If you are feeling heavy, then this would be great. And, you know, it could be a kind of a journal prompt about feeling heavy and what you need to let go of. Let's see. Oh. Okay. Now food is going to be really subject to personal taste, right? Yeah. I mean, again, we've got the sweetness of life. We've got things that are light and fluffy. We've got lots of color here. Meat. Now, I'm a vegetarian, so I'm probably not going to use meat imagery. But you know what? Meat could be like getting to the core of the matter. Meat could be like the meat and potatoes of a situation or something like that, right? I might be tempted to even take something like this and to remind myself that even too much of a good thing is something that I need to be aware of. Because, you know, I look at this and I think, oh, I would like all of those. And we all know what it's like when we have too much of a good thing. So, I mean, that's the other thing, is to look at these sorts of things and think, not just a Pollyanna rose-colored glasses like, oh, life is sweet. It can also be a reminder of a different kind of balance. Here we've got a lemon. So again, the old cliche, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. Oh boy, it's a good thing I ate. These are good. Again, you know, these could all, I mean, you could have these four things in a row and they could represent four different situations, four different people, four different conflicting opinions, or, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to just be about the food. It could be two and the two, so maybe it's something about you and a friend, you and another. Maybe you're feeling like a garden steak burger. I know it sounds silly, but you kind of have to just use your imagination a little bit and let these things just kind of flow, because I think that's another fun thing about being in our journals that we sometimes overlook, is the ability to use our imagination and to come up with some ideas that are not what you're seeing everybody else put in their journals, right? So we tend to get hung up on, or at least I do, decorating the journal, writing out in the journal, you know, putting all the bits of pieces of paper and the tape and the paint and everything in the journal. And yes, that is an imaginative process, but I think it's also a lot of fun to take these images and just let your imagination kind of go wild and be like, okay, what does a bucket full of firecracker popcorn balls mean to me? You know, Here we got Valerie Bertinelli. Cheers. So I would sort of cut that out, and this would be like, cheers to a great day. Cheers to a lesson well learned. Cheers to just getting through the day without, you know, having a breakdown. Flowers. Even this, lighten up the day, you know. Let's see, I better hurry up or it's going to be 4 hours of going through magazines. Aw, puppy. You know, oh my goodness. And then here we have like a little sofa. This is great for like talking about slowing down, reminding ourselves that we don't have to be on, you know, on 10 all the time, that we can stop and sit and relax and breathe and exhale, that we are allowed to, that we don't need permission from anybody. Okay. So you kind of get the, oh, this would be great for obviously a celebration. This would also be great if you had like an aha moment one day and you're like, oh, damn it, now I get it. Or you have this moment of like brilliant inspiration and you have this idea and you're like, oh, that's such a good idea. This would be great for that. Again, you know, we've got this expansiveness of the sky. Ugh, the possibilities are endless. Ooh, we've got some horoscopes. I'm a Gemini. Have to read that later. Okay, this little face. I know I say I don't normally use faces, but this could be a face that speaks 1,000 words. So could this. This cat is not impressed. So, you know. Dolphins, again, friendship, camaraderie, playfulness, joy, spontaneity. Oh my God. I mean, just think of a dolphin in the wild, right? So any of those, these would be great to convey any of those imagination or any of those images, sorry. Oh, we've got our zebra. So again, black and white. Are we in need of balance, perhaps? Oh, here comes Sophie to talk about something that she would like to talk about. We got a hippo here. You know, this could be about, when I see hippos, I tend to think about how hippos are underneath in the water and you just sort of see the tips of their nose, their eyes and their ears. So a hippo could be a great representation of something that's either just underneath the surface that you don't want to, you either want to talk about or you don't want to talk about, or again about hippos like to be in muddy, murky water. So again, you know, it might be evoking something that's deep down. You're standing in some mud and you're standing in the thick of it and it's, ugh. So, porcupine. Oh, can you just scooch? There we go. There's room for everybody here. If you, that's a good girl. Porcupines are obvious. Yeah. Okay, so that's pretty good. You could get quite a bit out of that one. If that happens to be somewhere that's free. Or sometimes I know in the doctor's offices or something like that, they will give you magazines that have been lying around for a while that have been really picked through. Okay, so this couch, again, you know, relaxing, taking time out, taking time away. It could also be about who would you like to sit on the couch with? You know, would you like to sit on the couch and have coffee with a certain friend? Are you missing somebody? Would you like to journal about who you would like to bring into your life, the kinds of people that you would like to invite you to sit on the couch and have a cup of tea, or sitting back on the couch with a bowl of popcorn and watching a movie. Maybe you want to invite yourself onto the couch, something like that. A shower would be great for cleansing, obviously, you know, getting rid of things that, feelings, emotions, ideas that no longer serve you, getting rid of clutter in your brain that's not helping you, that's just bringing you down. Showers, bathtubs, rain, all good for that. Now let's see, what have we got here? Cool it down. So here's a cooler. So this could actually be a little bit like luggage and baggage, maybe. You know, maybe you've got some stuff in the cooler and it's time to take it out because the cooler's shut, right? If the cooler doors were open, it might be a different situation. But there might be some stuff in this cooler that you just don't need anymore and you can pull it out. Maybe you've got some secrets in this cooler, so maybe you're feeling that it's best if the secrets stay inside the cooler. Mouthwash. Oh boy, from a potty mouth. I could tell you maybe I should be using mouthwash more often. But this could also be about, you know, again, freshness, beginnings, wiping the slate clean and starting fresh, that sort of thing. We've got a blender here, which could really well represent an overstimulated monkey mind, overthinking, overdoing, a whirlwind of experiences. You know, it's all right there with the food processor. An island. Ooh, that's self-explanatory, I do believe. You know, just being able to go somewhere and maybe be by yourself and close out the world. Oh my God, yes. So we've got some polar bears, which again would be about a couple of things. You could do strength, resiliency, tenacity, being self-reliant. We've got the puffins here. Now, Milish and I went to see some puffins when we were in St. John's, Newfoundland a few years ago, and it was gorgeous. We went on this little boat ride. Oh my God, they were beautiful, but did they stink? I was not prepared for how outrageous the smell was where the puffins live. It's in Norway. So, but again, puffins are very playful, and you could, you know, there's something to be said for their little orange feet, in the sense that they don't look like a lot of other birds. So this could really be about a sense of expressing yourself, being truly authentic to yourself, marching to your own drum, doing your own thing, wearing whatever you want, bucking tradition, that sort of thing. Because, you know, I know there are other birds out there with orange feet, but there's something a little bit rebellious about the presentation of the puffin, right? I hope I didn't say penguin. I think I said puffin. Here we have communal seating and eating. So this could be something about community. This could be something about, again, reaching out to other people, reaching out to like-minded people, the kinds of people that you would like to see into your life. This could be about tribe. This would have been useful when I was working in my journal about whether or not to start a YouTube channel, right? That sort of idea, like, or do you want to reach out to people and invite them into your life, invite them to sit down with you, break bread with you, share a drink, share a meal, all of those sorts of feelings and emotions, right? Okay. Onion and cream cheese topping. Yes, please. So this is smooth, but a little bit chunky. So I know I certainly have my days where I'm feeling fairly smooth, but I'm also feeling a little bit chunky. Right? So that would be great. Now here we have Alabama style creamy barbecue sauce. So on days where you're like, I am going, things are good, things are smooth, you might want to pick the barbecue sauce over this cheese topping. The ranch guacamole is looking a little bit lumpy. So maybe if you had some days where there were bumps in the road. I know some of this sounds ridiculous, but trust me, it's fun. It's really, really fun. What else do we got here? Potato chips. Well, just because sometimes you just want to treat yourself, right? Oh boy, everything on here. It is really good that I ate. Really good that I ate before I did this. Lip service. So here we have some cosmetics. So this might be something talking about things that you are attracted to, things in your life that you want to attract to you, right? That's kind of fun for makeup. We've got skincare. So again, this could be about some sort of self-care. I mean, because the idea with these magazines, again, is that you're trying to be really creative with images that you already have, as opposed to going out and spending oodles and time and hours downloading images, actively looking for images. So this whole exercise is a way of trying to just work with what's in front of you and make these images applicable to something that is going on with you at that time. Yeah. Again, smooth, easygoing, freshness, any of those things. So here we have, she's using a roller on her face, and it's about stimulating circulation, moving things around, making adjustments. Let's see what it just says here. I have to say, I have one of these jade rollers. I keep it in my freezer, and whenever I have a really bad headache or migraine, because I'm susceptible to sinus migraines, this has saved my, oh, I was going to say, you know what? This has saved my hide on more than one occasion. It gets super cold, and I roller it on my cheeks and by my nose and over my forehead, and it feels amazing. It really helps just diminish some of the really sharp, acute pain in my sinuses and my headache. Oh my God. If you have sinus headaches, I highly recommend that you put one of these in the freezer. It's amazing. Okay, sorry. Concentrate. Focus, Lisa. Focus. So they're talking here about, yes, if keeping it in the freezer, try the cold therapy. The cold reduces inflammation and calming the skin. So again, this could be about bringing relief, bringing a sense of stillness and calm in a very chaotic situation, right? Here's how to harness the power of cold. I don't know if I would associate this so much with cold, but knowing what we now know about how it's, they're saying it can bring you relief, I suppose. This can also be about movement. This could also feel like you're sort of spinning your wheels. You're like, 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. You're going back and forth and trying to make a decision, that kind of thing. Same as like what we talked about before. Something like this might be good if you're feeling a little bit off balance, perhaps, or you're trying to make a decision and you're like, oh, which way do I go? Again, this is all going to be quite subjective. I don't know why we need a scarf with our bathing suit, but that's a conversation for another day. Again, relaxing, taking some well-deserved time off. Exhale, breathing. Okay, she's really, her body language says it all. She's completely relaxed. Again, this is why I wouldn't use faces, because the face is going to give you emotional cues that might be different from the body language. So if you're just looking at the body, you can be like, okay, her obviously, like, everything about her is chilled out. So for me, this would be about giving myself room and space to allow myself to think about something, process something, to just enjoy the moment, to just let go, to, like I said, exhale, release, unclench your stomach, relax your feet, relax all parts of your body, right? This is just a moment of, you give yourself the moment and space to just, and then whatever that means for you. Again, whether it's about letting go so that you feel like maybe problem solving can come to you in sort of a subconscious organic level, or just enjoying the moment, some solitude, just some quiet moments on your own, that kind of thing. I mean, obviously she's happy and that's conveyed in her body language, but I just find it a little bit more interesting to just work with the cues that the body are giving. You know, again, you could, you know, this is about having a dialogue and a conversation. So maybe this is, again, a conversation that you need to have with yourself. Maybe you're considering a conversation that you need to have or you want to have with somebody else. Maybe it's about your feelings about opening up. Maybe there's something that you really want to get off your chest and you're having trouble sorting out exactly how you want to articulate that. Maybe it's just about good times with a friend. Maybe you're wishing that there's somebody that you could connect with and you would like to see them and enjoy spending some time just hanging out with them and not having any other distractions in the world, right? Again, this body language really gives you a lot of wiggle room to interpret something that you might be trying to work out or to think about or talk about or celebrate. You know, you might be like, oh my God, I got together with Beverly and I hadn't seen Beverly in so long, and you don't have a picture of Beverly, but you can put this together, right? Any of these books, you know. Ha! This is fun. Obviously, communication. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, you could do a lot with this. Ugh. This says a lot, doesn't it? No explanation needed. Okay, so this is interesting too. So we have a solitary chair. So this could mean many things to many people. This could be a retreat within yourself. This could also be struggling with feelings of isolation, abandonment, feeling alone, feeling unseen, feeling invisible, feeling unheard. Or it could be like, man, I really just want to sit in this chair, have a cup of tea or a glass of wine and just watch the world go by. I would love nothing more than to sit in this chair for a little bit by myself and to turn off the world, right? Again, depends where you are and what's going on. Okay, these lanterns are kind of fun. This would be about, for me, this would be about shining light on something, shining the light. I mean, again, think of the sort of cliches about sunshine and light. Sunshine can be a bit of a disinfectant. This could be, you know, something that's underneath a spotlight. So again, emotions, feelings, something going on that you're finally going to look at, to talk about, to explore, to express. Again, we've got this solitary chair again. So that goes back to the other thing we talked about in this here. This about relaxation. Again, maybe, you know, whatever you would like to have happen on this love seat, people you would like to spend time with. Same thing here again. Oh boy, this would be fun. Again, yeah, you know, this could be you having a conversation with you. This could be you having a conversation with you in the past. This could be you having a conversation with you about the future. You know, what could I tell myself? What can I do today that my future self will be really glad that I did in 5 years or 10 years or something like that? This could be about, again, the kind of people that you want to bring into your life. I mean, let your imagination go wild. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to come up with the ideas necessarily for you. This is more about me nudging you in a direction where it's like, oh yeah, that's cool. I didn't think of that, or whatever, that kind of thing. Here we have a really large a flower pot on a pedestal. So again, for me, this would be about planting something and working towards things that I want to grow, that I want to see come up and bloom. You know, the thing is with seeds, I mean, there's no flower obviously in this pot, so it might be kind of interesting where you could take something like this and then maybe take something like this, put them together, and what this could represent is the fact that, you know, there's something deep and dark going on, and you want to get out of that dark place. You want to get rid of that feeling of being in the dark. But the thing is, you know, the important thing to remember is that seeds thrive in the dark. Just like we talked about the lotus and the mud in the last video, which I will link below, by the way, in case you want to... Can you just... Okay, that's a good girl. Just right here would be great. That's a good Sophie. Seeds need to thrive in the dark. You don't just plant a seed and put it out on a windowsill and without... You know, here's some water, good luck, right? You've got to plant your seeds in the dirt, and they germinate in there, they take their time, and then they very slowly, the shell starts to crack open, and little tiny bits plant their roots into the soil, right? I mean, it's such a great metaphor for so many things in life that we go through and we struggle with, and sometimes we have to allow things to germinate. Sometimes we have to allow ourselves to go into the dark and sit with that and see what springs forward from it. You know what I mean? The dark doesn't have to be unpleasant. The dark can be a place of great growth, renewal, rejuvenation. It's a place of fertility where things become born and expand. So I think this kind of thing really works well if it's especially if you're at the beginning of trying to work something out, or you know, you're problem solving and you're like, I don't know. Or you're excited about starting something new, right? You're like, I want to get that new whatever it is. And you're like, I'm going to plant these seeds. I'm going to water this. I'm going to talk to it nicely. I'm going to give it lots of sunlight. And then when it starts to poke out, I'm going to make sure that I'm there to continuously work with this so that it grows into this. So yeah, this is a great, these are all really great metaphors. And this time of the year, these kinds of images are in a lot of magazines, right? So here we have lights. So again, a light bulb moment. One of those things where you're like, oh my God, I totally didn't think of that, you know? You know, sometimes I'm writing in my journal and I'll be like, oh my God, I don't know why I didn't think of this sooner, right? And then we've got this sort of tray on wheels. So again, this could be about movement, making changes. Here we have a chair again for sitting. Obviously you sit in a chair, but you know what I mean. Yeah, again, plants. I mean, they're just pretty, but they can also be representative. You know, plants, there's a quote somewhere, and it's sort of like flowers don't compare themselves to other flowers when they're growing and blooming. They just bloom. They just do their own thing, right? Geraniums, don't worry about whether or not they look like the roses, and the roses don't worry about if they look like the lilacs, and the lilacs don't worry if they look like the lily of the valley. And again, it's a cliche, but it's so true. And I think flowers can be a really, really great representation of just doing you. You do you the best way you know how, and just blossom. Again, I know it's a cliche, but just blossom into the person, the friend, the mother, the auntie, the granny, the wife, the girlfriend, the whatever it is. Just grow and bloom into who you're supposed to be, who you want to be. Again, I know it's a little bit corny, but sometimes these things really do help us move forward in our thought process. I mean, the idea about using these images certainly is to help us move along and not get stuck. Not to feel like we've been skewered or harpooned into one place, right? Yeah, like this is all going to be, again, can be very subject to interpretation. And there's the hot dogs. I would make veggie dogs out of these. Okay, let's move it along here. Ooh, again, sweet. You know what's, you know what? If I would cut this out, and then I would journal on here about the things that were sweet in my life that day. Again, I know it's a bit corny, but I think it would be a fun little exercise, right? It would just be something nice to do. Here we've got a duck. So again, we've got, ooh, you know what? The first thing that came on to my mind, water off a duck's back. Let it go. Let it just slide right off. If you're hanging on to something, something's making you crazy, or somebody is making you crazy, a duck would be a great thing. So again, I would cut him out, and I would be tempted to, actually, I would cut it out. I would glue him on a piece of paper. Then I would fussy cut around him so that the paper was on the back, and then I would journal on the back about what I need to just let roll off my back. Just saying. Okay, I don't know where we are time-wise, but oh my goodness. I think, oh, am I at an hour already? No, that can't be right. Anyways, I don't know. I can't see. Let's just keep going. If you've stayed with me this long, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I totally appreciate you spending this time with me. And as they say, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Okay, so here we have fire. Fire, warmth, comfort. Fire is also the energy of creation, in the sense that, you know, firing up your imagination, firing up those creative juices. So fire, yeah, that would be great. And again, you know, you could do a whole thing about what brings you comfort as well, right? And then we've got, oh, expansive. I mean, the world is your oyster about what you would like to use this to be inspired by, for sure. Again, this would be about movement. This could be about, because these are team sports, so this could be something to do with tribes, your people that support you. So if you were thinking about the dynamics of being on a team and what goes on within team sports, so it's about support, understanding. I'm drawing a blank here for some strange reason. You know, the whole idea of we're all in this together and we're going to work together as a team, coming together. So that could be just, again, if you're picking up some free magazines and you're like, okay, this really is about the kind of people that I want to surround myself with, or I have surrounded myself with, that kind of thing. Oh, again, you know, water, emotions, you know, getting away, walking towards something and not looking back, you know, slow forward movement. You know, if you want to take a slow walk along this beautiful beach, it's still forward movement. That's just pretty on its own. Ha! Look at that. That would be great in a journal. Instant gratification. Woo! Oh, crave. Oh, craveification. Well, same thing. Okay. So here we have a grill. Again, fire, cooking up an idea, cooking up something fabulous. Again, could be about get-togethers, right? Rest. Oh, lordy, lordy, I need a good rest, right? Sunglasses. lots of things here about, you know, windows to the soul. Eyes are the windows to the soul. Looking at the world from a different perspective, seeing things through someone else's eyes. There's a whole idea about rose-colored glasses. Did I say perspective? Like all of that kind of thing is all right in here. This would be great for trying to see things differently, trying to, when you're problem solving, is there an angle that you haven't looked at? Right there. Super sweet. Okay, so these would be good. Lemons and lemonade and life. You know, are you twisted up like a pretzel? Like, do you need to work some stuff out? Do you need to unclench your jaw, undo yourself because you've got yourself all contorted up into like a pretzel? The healing power of greens, you know. Mushrooms are great because mushrooms are about growth and perseverance, even in some of the most unsavory conditions. Not all mushrooms grow in terrible places. However, many a time we've moved a rock or a log or something, and not only do things crawl out from underneath it, but often there are mushrooms. Now, they're not the most beautiful thing in the world, but they certainly are a great representation of doing the best you can with the circumstances that you have, growth in a situation that's not ideal, etc., right? Fun! I love doing this stuff. You could probably tell. I love doing this kind of work. Again, here we've got green, relaxing, healing. All these trees are about growth, expansion, reaching up, right? Because trees are reaching up into the sunlight for growth. Oh, here we have a kitchen. We have some shelves. There could be some stuff about, have we put some stuff on the shelves emotionally that maybe need dusting off? Are there some things that need to be taken off of the shelf? Do we need to declutter our shelves emotionally, mentally? That could work. Again, chairs, things that we've already talked about. That's pretty. That's just pretty. Oh boy, taking out the garbage. Enough said. Kitty cats. Again, independence, playfulness, curiosity, right? You know, the other side to cats is they don't always think things through, and, you know, hence the whole need for 9 lives. We've got some dominoes. So, again, that's a really great metaphor for, you know, one wrong move and the whole thing comes crashing down. Dominoes could also be a great metaphor and image for about patience, right? Takes quite a while to do these sorts of things. Again, we've got sports. Shoes can move us forward. We've got some baggage, but we could also be, so we're unpacking something, or maybe we've unpacked and now we want to pack the new good stuff into our new gym bag. And so we're going forward with some really great resources, great ideas, and great self-talk. That could all be bagged up in there. This is interesting because it's like Jenga. So again, this is all about maybe don't be pulling out some of the blocks, so to speak, at the bottom. Maybe we need to start at the top and work our way down. Maybe we need to take a closer look at the kind of foundations that we've set up for ourselves. Maybe we really need to look hard and long at what is our foundation? Does it need reconsideration? All the kind of things about you know, what are we solid into? Like, are we standing so firm? Are we being stubborn and refuse to change? You know, again, these sorts of things are really great about looking at getting to the root of certain issues. Ooh, which we could go back to. I think that was in the other book. But anything about flowers, yeah, it could be the root of the issue. Ooh, that's a good one. Even something like this could be about, do I need to think more about the root cause, the root issue? Ooh, I like that. That's good. Friendship bracelet. That says it all. Here we go. These are great. Give yourself some credit. Give yourself a pat on the back. Give yourself the praise that you deserve. Give yourself the absolute, like, that you deserve, right? Yes, I love that. That would be so great. Shoes we've talked about. This could be interesting about mixing things together. How well is something gelling, you know? That's an interesting concept there. That would take me a little bit to think about, but that could really be something about putting many things together and sort of seeing what happens. Again, yeah, your inner child. That's an obvious one. Words. Ooh, that's pretty. I think that would be fun for so many reasons. You know, this kind of thing is good too, like an overview. If you're struggling with something, pull right back. Think satellite image and looking down on what exactly, like full picture, like get a bird's eye view of what's going on, what you're struggling with, and just be like, okay, I need to see this from a different angle. Right there. Perfect. Again, fun, forward movement, maybe moving things along. Look at that. That's great. So again, you know, we've got this sort of image of carefree. I mean, you know, this can be many, many things to many people. There's a lot of childhood references here. This is about a vacation, time away, time off, taking time to play, some of the more simpler pleasures in life. This can be about almost like getting back to basics. Maybe you need to cool something down a bit. You know, maybe you've been pushing way too hard to force a situation, force an outcome, or force an idea. And this could be like, hey, I need to cool it down. Just saying, that's a possibility. Same with this. Wow, this photography is gorgeous. That's beautiful. Push pops, sprinkles. You know, this could be a little bit about sprinkling new ideas onto a situation, sprinkling in some new habits, sprinkling in some other people, sprinkling in whatever it is that you need to sprinkle in. That's kind of fun. Sweet, simplicity. Yeah. You know, aspiration. You know, maybe you're here on the sidewalk and you're looking forward, up, and you're like, this could be about future goals. This could be about feeling at home. This could be about feeling some anticipation about going into a new situation, or trepidation. Maybe you don't know this house. Maybe you don't know who lives here. Maybe this represents some sort of cold call that you have to make. So it's both sides. It could be about feeling welcomed home, excited to start something and go on a journey in a very comfortable place. Or it could be, I mean, there's nothing scary or intimidating about this house, but it might represent some kind of new beginning for you because you don't know who lives inside, right? Okay, I'm gonna kind of hurry this along here. So here we have a bath. Again, cleansing, renewal, freshening up. Same with the shower here. Cleansing and washing is such a great metaphor for things that we want to wash off, get rid of. You can think about the shower, standing underneath the shower and just letting the shower wash away negative thoughts, negative self-talk, negative ideas. Just allow the shower to bring renewal and a feeling of freshness over you. If you're really struggling with something, or even if you're not really struggling with something, maybe you had a crappy day and you're like, you know what, I really just want to have a shower, wash off the gunk of the day, and read a good book, or watch a movie, or have a glass of wine, or whatever it is, right? Perfect. Driving into the unknown, driving forward, you know, those sorts of things. This is sweet. Togetherness, cooperation, commitment, all of these. Yeah. Teamwork, family, it's all there. New beginnings. There's something to be said on some level, you know, if you're starting something and you're feeling a little bit unsure or naive. I think like there's a lot of emotion in wedding photos where you're like, oh my God, that's so sweet. They fell in love. They got married. And it is sweet. But there's also this sense that when you look at couples that are newly married, you're like, oh, boy, you know, what are they going to learn along the way? How does their relationship unfold? And I don't want it to sound like it's, you know, they're doomed to fail. It's not. It's just like anything that you start, you get into something and, you know, life throws you curveballs, life throws you challenges, things pop up that you're not aware of. There's good surprises and bad surprises. Like wedding photos really, for me, really conjure up the fact that this big, again, the journey that we're going on, you know, you kind of, it's sort of like buckle up your seatbelts, everybody, because it's going to get interesting, right? But of course it can be about love and sharing and commitment and the innocence and that newness of falling in love and believing in the person that you're with and all of those great things that can come with a wedding. Here we have a mom and a baby, or maybe a granny and a baby. So there's a lot of great symbolism there. Here we have some friends. Here, old friends. There's a lot of good stuff in this one, for sure. Oh, joy, absolutely. If you have brothers, enough said. Ooh, cactuses. Okay. There's all the obvious things about prickly situations, uncomfortable. Right? Cactuses are great for those emotions. There's all kinds of stuff here with cactuses. That's fun. Oh, here's some more. You know, the other thing, though, is that if you treat something that's very prickly with care and caution, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get hurt, right? Just saying. Oh, a bookshelf full of beautiful colored books. You know, stories and the journey and the adventure and the magic and wisdom and comedy, tragedy. It's all there on a bookshelf. Yeah, I guess it just depends on what chapter are you. Where are you when you're at that bookshelf? Yeah, this is great. So I hope, cooking, creating, you know, that sort of alchemy of putting ingredients together and then coming up with something really wonderful and delicious. Cooking is obviously a great act of kindness a great act of love. And there's nothing, one of the greatest pleasures in life is cooking something for somebody, even if it isn't the most perfect, delicious meal, but somebody has it and they are happy and they feel full and they feel loved and cared for after they've eaten the meal that you've made. This says it all right here. Same thing about cooking together and preparing food together. Again, breaking bread together, sitting down and having a meal with somebody, having that conversation. All of the things that go with cooking and eating. I mean, there's so much to this, so much to that. Yeah, here it is here. Again, you know, breaking bread with somebody. Bread is the very essence of life. It is the food of our ancestors, that kind of thing. Salt. Oh, that's great. I love that. Oh, I see. Oh, that's interesting. Oh boy, so you could that salt could also be ice in some way, maybe. Oh yeah, that's fun. Jalapenos, you know, it's either something's like hot, intense, needs your attention, or demands your attention. Jalapenos demand your attention, right? So that's an interesting metaphor. So that's it. Oh boy. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there. Because yeah, I have babbled on long enough. I hope you found that helpful. I hope that that was as fun for you as it was for me, because I really enjoyed going through those with you. Yeah, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. I hope this will inspire you to get some magazines out and to play with some imagery and really, you know, play with your imagination, expand into the ideas of what some images, photos, symbols, even photos of other people, what that can mean for you and to you, and how you might like to use that in your junk journal process. So, have a great day, everybody. Thank you so, so much for being here with me. I really appreciate it. And until I see you in the next video, speak kindly to yourselves, enjoy your journal, and I'll talk to you soon. Mwah. Bye, everybody.